Hey y'all, what's going on? Listen, it's time for us to talk about love and marriage, Huntsville. If I can be honest, I really feel like episode by episode, this show gets more and more boring in my personal. And the sad part is that it's been boring for a while. Is the show has been boring for a few years now. Um, I just kind of wish that they would get some more interesting couples to be a part of the show. I feel like a lot of the storylines and things that we've seen, although they may appear to be new, I feel like some stuff is just ran into the ground. Okay, Martell beefing with Marceau, right? Um, Nell, and this isn't really beating it into the ground, but Nell really being involved in the business of Destiny versus the business of her and her husband. Annoyed. Trish and Ken, I'm kind of over them too. I mean, although I was sick of Tiffany at times, and I was glad that she decided to take a break from the show. Don't really see her returning, but I'm feeling the same way about Ken and Trish, but more so in the worst way. Like, should they leave, they won't be missed at all. Like, I think it's time to reevaluate Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I don't think that any reevaluation is going to happen until the viewership truly tanks even more than what it is. Yes, the show has been able to stay afloat with the 200, I'll say the 100 to 200,000 views that it is getting. But and also possibly maybe there's been some contracts and stuff that's been secured for, maybe a few seasons or something, who knows, but yeah, bring us Bell Collective, okay? Because the girls are giving us something I feel different like every year, something to get us like tuned in, interested in. And I just don't see that same excitement anymore for Love and Marriage Huntsville as I used to. Yes, I am going to come and do this review. I know you guys are interested in hearing what I have to say, but I know it's going on a break and I can't guarantee that I'm going to be back. I can't guarantee that I am going to be back, child. Okay. Um, but we gonna get through it. I really don't like to say, "Oh, I'm never gonna review this show again" or whatever. I really don't like to say that because I, for me, understand that how I feel in this moment may not be how I feel by Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I'll just speak in this moment, not sure of what I would do in the future. I'm glad it's going on a break. I'm glad it is going on a break. But we're gonna go ahead and get through this episode. So Martell is planning to move Ariana into his new his new home. He invites Chris Fletcher over, and that's when Chris Fletcher learns that, oh, you finna move her in? Like, oh, okay then. Like, I mean, y'all finna get married? And Martell like, nah, there's certain things that we would need to do before we get married. Um, I feel like personally, Martell is continuing to blow smoke up Ariana's tail. In my personal, I feel like if they were to get married, it is to prove a point to other people. Potentially, I feel like that point could have been proven if they would have already gotten married. But I don't know. I don't know what them folks got going on in their relationship. But congrats and good looks, child. Anyway, um, they speak on Martell and Marceau. Martell says that Marceau is a compulsive liar based on the things that he said about his ex-wife as well as Ariane. Now, Martell feels like the real issues between he and Marceau are old because the last time, things happened was really like 4 or 5 years ago. That's the last time they really like had a beef where he talked about Marceau cheating. Okay. I don't think Marceau has ever been over that. I personally, for me, still stand by the fact that Marceau always thought that Martell and Mel were better than them. And I think those may have been some unresolved feelings, even though Martell tried to look out for you at once upon a time. I think that's something he's held on to on his own. And then you turn around and you say, oh, you the one that's been out here cheating too. You act like you ain't been out here doing your thing. Right. I feel like some of that may have led to the altercation that happened outside of Destiny's spot, and whatever. The friendship's been fractured for some time, so he feels like Maurice and him go way back, and that they're pretty much good. Okay, his issue is primarily with Marceau, and that's it. So Martell says that Marceau hasn't been a real friend to him over the years, and he says he doesn't want him speaking on Ariane, just like Tisha is his woman, Marceau's woman. Ariane is Martell's woman, and he's like, you don't want me speaking on your woman, then I don't want you speaking on mine. Okay. And it's just that simple. Now, when we get to Ken is sitting with Will. And he's talking with Will about Trish, of course, and the confusion and everything that they have going on with their relationship. I do feel like Will is at a place where he's like, listen, bro, you need to end this. I feel like Will wants to tell him that so bad, but you got to let your friends do what they're going to do because they're going to do that anyway because that's just how they is. So Ken says Trish walks through their weight area, right? And I don't know why Ken called this a podcast because this is not really a podcast to me. You just decided to go live on social media. You're going live on Instagram every morning working out and y'all having random conversation, right? It could be a podcast if it had a bit more structure, right? Where maybe you opened up girl, I'm not even gonna give Ken no ideas, figure it out, okay? Anywho, so he's over there talking about her and how she walked through the middle of their set or whatever. She didn't say nothing to him. She didn't say nothing to his friends. And he was like, I know you ain't finna leave without giving me no kiss or whatever. Give me kiss. It was giving every bit of Stevie J. Give me kiss, right? I do think it was rude. I do agree with him. I feel like that was rude. Cause I mean, like, what the hell the friends did to you? Like, girl, you could have at least said, "Hey, y'all, what's up?" You know, it could have been dry, maybe. But then, I mean, hell, if it was gonna be dry, you might as well have shut up. So either way, whatever. I do feel like Ken did not initially explain the story right. Cause I'm like, okay, if Trish did that, then obviously you must have did something for her to be like, I'm not saying shit to nobody. And that's when Will asked, but then what happened? Right? What happened? And that's when Ken pretty much says that he was sick of the BS. I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of you continuing to embarrass me and stuff. He says that the fight that he had with her ex-husband or soon to be ex-husband, whatever he is this week, next week, or next month, he says that that was pretty much the last straw for him. He says that they need to find a solution or pretty much get out the situation. My problem here with this is the fact that I feel like Ken is trying to blame Trish for a lot. Now, granted, I am saying I do feel like Trish should be blamed for some things, right? But I don't think she should be blamed for all things. Like, sir, part of the reason you're being so embarrassed is because you also have allowed yourself to sit there. Mr. Captain Saver. Okay. That's what you chose to do. In addition, although Trish may have been doing the most at that sit down with Marquez, so were you. So were you. You asked him a question, and I can't remember what the question was. You didn't like that answer because he wasn't wrong when he said it. Then you wanted to say something about him pitching in, and Ken, like, I just gave you $500. Like, what you talking about? Like, it was just very, very weird. Okay. Um, and so you did not have to stand up to assault Ken. You know what I'm saying? You could have just said, hey, bro, get out my house, or whatever the case was. You didn't have to like run up or none of that, but that was a decision you chose to make. I say that regardless of how anybody feel. You don't have to like Ken. You don't have to, I'm sorry, not Ken. I keep getting them mixed up. You don't have to like Marquez. You don't have to support Marquez, whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, and knowing that you're supposed to be this great example for Marquez's children, he and Trish's children, I personally feel like you could have just told that man to exit. You got production there. You could have told production to make sure he go ahead and leave. See, this is my issue with Ken, and I'm starting to realize I am not a fan of Ken because I feel like he likes to lead to be this type of person that I look out for her. I take care of her kids. I do this, I do that. Everybody praise him. Ken, yes. Oh my God. Because you're never going to find another man that's going to be able to take care of you and your children. That's a good man, Savannah. No. Ken also has anger issues in my personal. To me, I feel like he does a good job as disguising them, but I just also feel like at your big grown age, knowing that you're now being an example for other people's children, and granted, Trish can do a better job and being a better example for her own children too. Right, all three of them can, and be very clear about that. Because you say something about one, people think you excusing somebody else's behavior. I'm talking about all of them, but I'm more so talking about Ken because I feel like he get all this praise, but it's like he just as problematic as the rest of them. Because you could have just told that man, go ahead and excuse yourself, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna catch you on the flip, but should I catch you? It's not gonna be in my house. It's not gonna be around your kids, okay? But I will catch you. Because what did Nene say when her and Portia was talking about the altercations they got in? Okay, Nene was like, "Did you catch me on camera when I did that?" Okay, was I down the alley when I did that? All right, Nene was like, "Girl, I pull my stunts in different type of ways, and he needs to grow up and do the same thing, right?" You could have just told that man, hey, production, go ahead and get him up out my house. Production would have figured out the best way to edit around it. It didn't have to get to like a full blown whoop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's one thing that I'm not a fan of about him. When he's not getting his way, then as we saw last season, he throws things up in Trisha's face when these are things that you want to do. That's why it's like it's not all her embarrassing you. These are choices that you're making as well. And then maybe something that bothers her because you don't fully take accountability for your own SHI. It got to be on Marquez. And then now Marquez ain't in the picture. You can't blame it on him, right? You can't say this or that. Now you want to sit up here and put it off on Trish. No, I'm inclined to believe that you is likely a problem as well, a strong part of the problem. But then you want to sit up here and act like, oh, because I'm helping her out in the household, because I'm helping take care of the kids, then I must, I'm good. Yeah, no. I mean, you might be a tad bit better than Marquez. You might be a tad bit better than Marquez, but I don't know. I don't know how much more. But anywho, so and then Trisha kind of touches on something at a later time, which pretty much confirmed what I was already thinking when it came to Ken. So he says that I said, well, Ken is really torturing himself, in my opinion. Ken feels like he is treating her like she's his wife, and he barely getting boyfriend treatment. And I said, oh, well, Ken doesn't really feel desired, right? He doesn't feel desired or appreciated like he does for her. And I think it's because you're a scapegoat a little bit, right? I feel like she may have used you in a sense to not be lonely, right? She used you possibly in a sense of letting her ex-husband see, like, yo, you thought that nobody else would want me. Now I got somebody that does want me. And not only that, I got somebody else that'll stand up against you with me. Right. So I mean, maybe those were the things, but I feel like he's torturing himself because I do feel like Ken is not fully happy. And I mean, I think anybody would feel the way that he feels if you do feel you're in your relationship and that person is not appreciating you, or that person doesn't desire you as they once did or whatever. Like I can understand his frustration a little bit, right? But when you talk about her embarrassing you, part of that is your own issue, okay? You're embarrassing yourself, okay? Anywho, and if you feel like she's been using you, which I do believe she has, you have also allowed it. And you allow it, in my opinion, in an effort to get the kudos from it. And when things are not going your way, you use it to weaponize against her by telling her, throwing certain things up in her face. And I don't know. I feel like when people, you just got to watch folks, okay? I don't like stuff like that, okay? I mean, but maybe sometimes some people might need it thrown up in their face a little bit. I don't know. So Trish and Destiny link up, and Trish tells them about what I think it was Trish, Destiny, and her friend. So excuse me. Trish tells them about what happened with her and Ken and him calling her rude because she walked past or walked through him and his friends and didn't say that. And for me, like I said before, I do feel like that was a bit rude. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I mean, well, she could have just said good morning, right? She could just be like, hey, y'all. All right, y'all have a good day. Going on about the business, whatever the case is, right? But at the same time, some part of me is like, you pissed her the hell off, bro. You said some stuff. Y'all got into it. You pissed her the fuck off. And you expecting her to act like everything is all peaches and apples or whatever the case is, right? Like, she mad as hell, and you know why. So she gave you that, I'm ignoring your ass treatment. I told you I ain't got nothing to say to you, so I'm going to continue to operate like that, like I ain't got shit to say to you. Although neither is right at the same time, okay? Because you walking out that door and you don't know what could happen. You walking out that door and you don't know what the hell could happen on either side for that day. So, in my opinion, a simple good morning, you know what I'm saying? A simple hey y'all, you know what I'm saying? And even if you probably didn't kiss them on the lips, maybe on the cheek potentially, but a lot of times we don't think about that when we upset. We don't think about how our life could change within an hour of the day or something, So we just be feeling how we feeling in that moment. Anywho, so Trisha's well, let's go back. She says that he started yelling for her to give him all his stuff, right? After he did not like how she showed up at the through the gym. Now, although it was rude, I'm willing to believe, in my opinion, I'm willing to believe the reason Ken was so upset was not so much as because she didn't speak at all, was because she likely embarrassed him in front of his friends and the people watching on live. It was every bit of, in my personal giving, oh, you just embarrassed me, yada, yada, yada. And it goes back to that, I'm tired of you embarrassing me comment, right? He felt embarrassed again. So he gets upset. He yells at her, give me all my stuff. I'm cool, love. Love, I'm cool. I'm cool. If every time we get into it, you got to throw something up in my face and talk about what you finna take back, I'm the type to make sure that I get it on my own. I'm the type to where I'm going to make sure that you need me before I ever need you. That's how I move, how I operate. And if I have to show up like that constantly with my partner, why? Why are you here? You know? What? Like, so yeah, they just, and then them coming online trying to show, oh, everybody's questioning whether we're together or not. And look at us lifting weights. And it's like, Ken, baby, you're the only one that needs the validation. America really doesn't care. Okay? For real, for real. Because in the long run, America, listen, I'll just say this. In the long run, we don't see it. Okay? And maybe it will work for y'all. And I'm not wishing that y'all don't be together. What I'm wishing for you guys is to be happy. And if you're not gonna be happy with each other, it is so okay for you guys to not be together. And if you're having this much conflict and turmoil, y'all don't have no kids together, and this is before you get married, you sure? You sure? Is you sure? Do what you're gonna do, because y'all gonna do that anyway, because it's just how you is. It's your life to live, honey. So anywho, she talks about how her son came down and he threw the keys on the counter and he just went upstairs. And I was like, ooh. So did you tell the son to give you the stuff too? Or was the son sick of your stuff? Cause the son came, when you got into it with his daddy, the son came down too. Like, I don't know. I question if the son even likes you. He, just because he may respect you and he may accept the gifts and stuff that you give him, does not mean that he likes you. Yes, it's possible for his dad to be absent. It's possible for him to, while his dad is absent, appreciate the things that you give him. But it does not mean that he actually likes you. And it's very possible for him to have liked you at once upon a time. His dad is absent. You stepped up. You've done this. You've done that. You've given me this, whatever. But you've also shown this, this, and this. And I can't say that the person I once thought you were is a person that I liked, because who you're showing to me, I don't like you. So I just question what's Trisha's son's real feelings when it comes to Ken. Okay. Anywho, so Trisha's surprised with her friends feeling like her kids process her relationship like she does, because she doesn't speak her mind or whatnot. So if they're in their feelings about something, they don't say anything at all. Trisha's friend says that she does believe that her son believes that Ken does care about him. And I'm like, are you sure? I would if her son said it out his mouth, then I would believe it. But I don't know. So excuse me, she says sometimes she has her moments because it be a lot on her and people feel that anger when she lets it all out. So basically, she doesn't share her thoughts. She bottles everything up, and then she may lash out. You know, that also makes me think that I feel like Trisha may have shown up like this in her childhood to her marriage. If not her childhood, more so her marriage with Marquez, and potentially this relationship here. So I feel like when Trish, and I feel like I can relate to that a bit, when you're trying to express yourself to your partner, you know, in a past relationship I'm reflecting on, it would always be a situation as if your thoughts don't matter, what you're saying don't make sense or whatever. And it was their way of trying to escape some form of accountability. You could tell me how you're feeling about this, that, and the other, but when I'm trying to express myself, oh, now it doesn't matter. It's not about me right now. It's about you. Like all of that narcissistic type of, like, I can't. But anywho, um, I can relate to that a bit. So when Destiny says you're trying to, she said something like, you can't bring your past issues into this new relationship. Well, see, here's the thing. Is the new relationship displaying some similar behaviors from the past? Because for me, and everybody's different, right? But I only can speak from my own experience. With my experience, I feel very comfortable talking to my husband about certain things, my feelings, this and that. I never feel like, even when he probably like, girl, if you don't hush. Aside from that, even though he never makes me feel like what I have to say doesn't make sense, is stupid, never makes me feel like that, right? I feel very comfortable in expressing myself, what may bother me, what I'm happy about, not happy about, whatever it is. I feel very comfortable in that space, as he is too. So I feel like if she's displaying that behavior again in a person that is asking her to marry him, chances are, in my personal opinion, there are some similarities between the past relationship and this current relationship as well. And, I don't think it's all on her. I don't think it's all on her either. Okay. I feel like as much as Ken may feel not appreciated or embarrassed or whatever because he shows up in so many ways, you feel like you treat her as a wife. But how do you really know you treat her as a wife? Have you ever been married before? You feel like you're treating her as a wife, but how you know she feel that way? Did she tell you that's how she felt? That you treat her as a wife? Because you also make her feel like the things that she has to say doesn't make sense. Or when she does tell you certain things, you get upset. Right? So she just shut up and she don't say nothing. She just get real quiet. Okay. So I don't know. I'm just saying everybody praising Ken, child, but so then she goes on and she says sometimes she says that I think Destiny asked her like, what do you not like about Ken, or what's your issue with Ken? She said, I don't like his aggression. I said, yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right. When things aren't going his way, when you're probably beating him in a conversation, he decides to get loud. He'll loud talk you, he'll over talk you, and then at some point throw certain things up in your face, yada yada. Now, granted, as I said, I have to repeat myself, okay? Miss Trish is not perfect. She has her issues in this relationship too. But it ain't just her, it goes around, okay? It's all of them. Anywho, so Destiny thinks that Trisha brings her past issues into her new relationship. She thinks that Trish doesn't think he's going anywhere. That's possible that she doesn't think he's going anywhere, but then I also question, how much does Trish really care though? At the same time, too. Do she think he not going nowhere? Or do she want him to go somewhere? Ain't no telling. But anywho, that's what Destiny says. So Destiny and Trish's friend feels like, or at least Destiny and Trish's friend feels like her relationship is worth fighting for. I mean, I get, if you feel that way, it could be. It could be worth fighting for. I feel like maybe y'all, before y'all go down that aisle, maybe you need to do individual therapy and then do some sort of couples therapy or something to figure out whatever those issues are, figure out a better way to communicate with each other. And if with going through that process and getting the proper tools on how to be patient with your partner, understanding to your partner, communicate with your partner, if you're still seeing the conflict, then y'all don't need to keep it going. Y'all don't. Y'all need to end the situation. So I do feel like I said that I feel like Trish needs to work on processing and properly releasing her emotions and communicating. And that just pretty much goes back to what I said about individual counseling. I don't know if she's been through it, but after losing so many of your family members back to back and not really having the support, right, of whoever, more so your partner, right? And then being left with his children. So not only do you have to carry the weight of life being so not normal to you because you've lost so many people in your life, but then you also lose your husband, regardless of what the issue was, because that could have been a turning point to help the marriage, right? But to leave her when she's in that emotional state and she also has to balance her emotions on top of taking care of your two children was utterly fucked up. Like that. That's effed up. I mean, I just think that that's just fucked up, right? And then sometimes as a mom, and I will hope this was her at some point, you're still going to figure out a way to show some grace in an effort to make sure that they're still in the lives of the children, right? And not harden your heart too much, because what they did to me was what they did to me. Not so much as to the kids, although the kids were affected by what you did. You're still going to want to have some type of grace to allow them in because the kids need their father type of shit, but whatever. Anywho, yeah, Trish, if you want to be by yourself, girl, like that's really okay. That Slick kind of wants you to just like be okay. Like that's a good man. Da, da, da. And yeah, everybody wants companionship, and I completely get that. But also, it's okay to be by yourself too. Like, anyway, Marcel and Martell talk. Martell wants to move forward, right? Of course, he wants to move forward. Marcel says, Martell, you've been doing stuff to me for the past 7 years. Marcel, y'all have been doing things to each other, okay? Y'all been doing shit to each other. That's just what that is. Y'all been doing shit to each other for the past 7 years. Marcel talks about how he doesn't lie. You are. We've caught you in lies watching this show. Your brother has called you out as to be a liar. You've called your brother out to be a liar. Liar. All y'all on this show lie in an effort to make yourself look better to the audience, and the audience still digs up y'all tea and spill it in different places. Like I just like let's keep going. Martell says that he tries to say that I think he said he doesn't lie, whatever. No. Martell tells Marceau you do lie, okay? And you need to go home and you need to pray to God about the lies that you have told and the fact that you still sit up here lying now. Anyway, so Martell is telling all of this to Marceau, and Martell thinks Marceau should have apologized. Of course, Marceau is like, listen, I'm not apologizing to you. I don't expect you to give me an apology. An apology is not going to happen. I kind of agree with that. Like, can we move past these apologies? Okay. Marceau feels like, listen, you apologize, you go back and you repeat the same behavior. Here's the thing. Every single one of y'all on the cast have apologized and repeated the same behavior. At this point, I get annoyed just a little piece watching reality shows and people expecting apologies for a reality show that is based in drama and likely a recurring cast. Why are we apologizing? Yeah, if I was on one, which I would never be, I would never give you hoes an apology. I mean, unless you were like a dear friend that I cared about and maybe operated in a certain way that I shouldn't have or whatever, or something that you didn't like and I didn't know it was a problem and now I'm learning. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? But aside from these other hoes, like, bitch, I'm not giving you shit. Okay? I'm not giving you a damn thing. So I don't think they should apologize. I do think it should really just be let's move forward. Like it is what it is. Okay, tomato, tomato. Let's keep going. So he says, Marceau says he apologizes and always goes back to that. We talked about it. At the end of the day, this is what the end result ended up being. It appears that the guys are going to be able to move forward because it's clear that they can't operate in a space with each other, right? They can be very cordial with each other in the same space. What they appear to agree on at this particular time is that as they move forward, okay, neither of them will speak negatively on each other nor their partners, okay? That is what they have agreed on. So we'll have to wait and see if that's actual factual and that's going to happen. I do think at this time, because the show was just going down in my personal as far as entertainment wise, with this cast who likes to not be fully open about everything, it might be time to bring Ariane onto the show so that we could see Martell's real life and real dynamic with her, how she filters into this group with the very ladies that she's talked shit about online. I'd like to see it. The first woman we would see her sitting down with, I am sure, would be Destiny. Because one thing about Destiny, Destiny gonna be friends with everybody. And I'm not gonna say that she shouldn't. I'll let y'all choose to drag Destiny whichever way you want to. But when Sonya was on the show and she didn't want you just talking to nobody, y'all still entertained her. So if she entertains Ariane, stay mad. Okay? What's good for the goose is good for all of them hoes out there. All right. So it's just that simple to me. I could see her interacting with Destiny first, and then I could see Nell tiptoeing herself over there entertaining Ariane as well. I surely can. And I say that because I mean it just makes sense. Like Destiny and Nell are working on their friendship. Nell isn't sold on Tisha, and at some point Kimmy as well, because there's still supposed to be more. So I might come back and watch the rest of it, of the other half of the season. And we'll see. We'll see. I might still just finish up and give you guys reviews and stuff. So we'll see, because I do want to see the situation that's supposed to happen between Nell and Kimmy. It's just that the first half has been a bit mid, so I'm looking forward to Bell Collective, right? Um, I'm looking forward to seeing like who these people, like what we got going on. So we'll get into that, but yeah, I don't think that Nail is really sold on Kimmy and Tisha and stuff. So I can see her being over there entertaining Ariane, which will be a cackle to me, considering the fact that you did this whole rant on social media after you were caught taking a picture with her. Y'all are interesting, because I want to apologize to these weird fans, fake fans, okay? Turning fans, shall I say, because some of y'all flipping at this point. But I wouldn't be apologizing to y'all because y'all caught me and saw me in a photo with somebody. That's why I always tell people when, I speak on anything, they be like, oh, you don't like such and such. And you can't make me like nobody. You can't make me dislike no damn body. I'm my own person. Like, is y'all cool? So you got online to distance yourself from Ariana or whatever the case was, only for if she starts filming on this show, you're going to be filming scenes with her. So what was it? What was it good for? Absolutely nothing. Either way, honey, good luck. That's just only if he were to bring her onto the show by the next season. I think it would make sense in my personal. If he did, to show Martell's real life, because at this point, Martell, what do you have going on aside from beefing with the Scotts? And now that you're no longer beefing with the Scotts, like, what are you doing? And I would feel a way that I even brought some sort of an idea to, the creator, in an effort to produce a show, and they gave you a different alternative, and you're like, you know what, yeah, we could go with that. Matter of fact, I got a group of friends I could bring to you. The relationship between you and your ex-wife sour, and then here you are being positioned as barely a friend of the damn show. Like, nah, like I'm part of being a pioneer of this show as well. I'm part of being instrumental in this show as well. Like, yes, one chapter ended, but let's see what else this other one's talking about. Like, people say that they wouldn't watch because of her. Well, one, y'all barely watching now, but then two, whenever she puts a video up, y'all be over there tuned the hell in. So that'd be part of the reason too why some of these reality shows keep the people on the shows that we don't like, because they know the folks gonna tune in anyway. But either way, good luck. That's all that I have. Just wanted to come give you guys my 2 and 3 and 4 5 cents. I'm Jamie, that's me. Be sure to like up the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim, putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can feel it.